I can see my spell. So,
Woo! Good morning and welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk on Babz, Rawls-Ivy. And this morning I get to have Lee Cruz from the Community Foundation of Greater New Haven on because he's going to be talking about the Neighborhood Leadership Program. Good morning, Lee. Okay. He's having some technical difficulties. So he'll be on in a minute. He's here and not here.
I am here.
Okay, I don't see you, but I hear you.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Little technical difficulty there, but
That's all right. How are you?
good, good. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Thank you, thank you. Same to you.
All right, so the Neighborhood Leadership Program provides training, support, and funding for projects that make a difference in our communities. How long has this thing been going on?
Well, the short version is we did it for 14 years in sort of three different iterations that evolved from a grant program to a grant program with training to a leadership program that basically, as it implies, identifies and supports local grassroots leadership. And then for about 4 years, we kept trying to figure out how we could do an evaluation. And just as we're getting ready to get that thing going, so we could evaluate it, COVID hits. So we have to delay some more. But then finally, last year, we took an entire year off. We did not run the program after 14 years, including running it through COVID, a lot of Zoom meetings. And then now we're coming back with the same program, but with some changes that were suggested by people, including this one, which is to run the program more along the academic or the school year as opposed to the calendar year. And so here we are after a hiatus of a year, back, not necessarily bigger, but certainly better because of the conversations that we had with participants and other community leaders to evolve the program.
Okay. So August 1st, you're having your informational session. And this is the relaunch. This is the beginning of the relaunch.
Correct. So this meeting, there's no interview, there's nothing to do except to show up, park your car in our parking lot. We'll pay for that right next to our offices. Come upstairs, have some pizza, and listen to a presentation, and also meet other people that are interested. You have to remember, or we ask people to remember, that this program is a lot more about you than about us or the program facilitators. This program is really about you meeting other people like you who want to do what I call a thing in a place that builds or sustains community. And that can take and has taken many different shapes, from murals to working with the elderly to working with youth. Your good friend and mine, Aoife Michelle Gardine, she went through the program, and that's where she basically conceived Elm City Lit. We all know.
No. She conceived Elm City Lit on my porch.
There you go. I stand corrected.
And she came to y'all to shore it up.
Well, she came to actualize that vision. That vision much more well developed on a porch over some wine than in a program. Yeah, 100%. That statement is 100%.
So
So
the program, the neighborhood leadership program, because I'm on your website,
sure.
it's an 8-month commitment from September to April.
Right, that's correct. And that these are not by any means weekly classes. You can see the schedule there. There are various sessions. I didn't want to get too much into the detail because that's exactly what we're going to do at this meeting. But they're periodic sessions where you're meeting with the facilitators, Kevin Ewing, David Carter, and Michelle Gardine. And then in between, you meet with a subsection of the group, which will max out at 12. We're only going to take 12 people into the program each year. We're going to, our hope, our plan is to run this continuously once a year. And so there's an opportunity to learn not only from people who have a lot of experience, but people who are similar to you in level of experience, and maybe even to share your knowledge with someone who's perhaps a little bit behind you in terms of how to fulfill that dream that they have for their community.
So this program is a program that, like, if somebody applies and gets in, they have an idea for something they want to do in their community, to better their community, to uplift their community, to bring their community together. And y'all help them shake that out a little bit, to bring it to fruition, to help guide and to help design and to help implement.
Correct. So
they're not alone.
Exactly. So the topics that are touched upon are defining what your objective or your vision is, what the opportunity is. From a social service framing, it would be what the problem is. But in our community, there are not just problems, there are many opportunities as well. Then listening and observing how you go about doing that. And then prototyping or testing, there's an opportunity to take a subsection of what you're doing or do sort of a trial run, if you will, to get feedback, not only from the people in your community, but also from other people in the program who are supporting you. And then once you do that and you go through the learning, assessing, and integrating of what you've learned, you go into the design, and then that is what you submit as an application. Only people who've gone through the program can then apply for a grant. And typically, people who go through the program do get the grant because that is the purpose of the training. So that's the full cycle of what you do. And then hopefully you get involved in subsequent years, supporting people who are coming up behind you, because this is very much about identifying and fortifying that chain of leadership that comes up from the most grassroots, from the block level, from the subsection of a neighborhood level, from a neighborhood, or it might be from a community, the LGBTQ community, or some other subset of people who self-identify as being a community.
So Lee, tell me some of the, I mean, you just told me about Culturally Lit, Elm City Lit Fest, which is now Culturally Lit. Talk about some other projects that people have launched that are like maybe are standing or did what they said they were going to do, and now they've sunsetted it. Like, talk a little bit about the imagination of what you've seen produced.
Oh, we have seen such a variety, working with kids at Quinnipiac Terrace Low Income Housing Project is one example, with tutoring support and after school games. I love the fact that the two women that were doing that reached out to one of the boxing programs, to Candace's program. What's not Ring One? Oh, I'm blanking out on the name of her program. But they did what happened is that
Elephant in the Room.
Elephant in the Room. Thank you. Elephant in the Room. They reached out because a lot of the stuff these women were doing really was seen more as being for the girls by the boys, right? So then what happened is they said, well, what about us guys? And to the credit of these two women, Marianne and Sally, they reached out to another woman and got from her a man that works at Elephant in the Room, and he came out and he was doing work with them. The goal was not to teach them to box. The goal was physical conditioning. Take care of your own body. We have had people like Grenade, who did a program where she worked with elderly Black community members in the building where her parents live, and being a travel agent that worked on cruises, she organized them and helped them to raise money and got money from other places. And some of these folks, for the first time in their life, they went on a cruise.
Wow.
We have people who have organized basketball, Collab, the program that works with people trying to start businesses. That was conceived by Carolyn Smith and by Margaret Lee within the leadership neighborhood leadership program. One of my favorites is a researcher from Yale, Gustavo, who really loves science, and he created science experiments literally in a brown paper bag. And to my great joy, one day my son Mateo came home from school in third grade, and he said, I got this really neat experiment, not realizing he goes to FAME, what used to be Columbus School. He didn't realize that Gustavo had been funded through this program, the Neighborhood Leadership Program. His program is called Go Science Yourself. So
Oh,
you know what that's a play on. But I just love the creativity and the joy with which people approach this, crossing and intersecting from the traditional work of a nonprofit to community-based work, mixing people from Newhallville and Dixville with people from Fairhaven and the Hill, but also bringing in a little speckle of people from Yale who have demonstrated a love for New Haven and are trying to do something, kind of on their own, from their passion, from their knowledge, to contribute to our community. And there's nothing more beautiful than seeing one of these groups, Black, white, and Hispanic, grassroots people that are working on one block to people that are from Yale and everything in between. I'll give you one more, I think, really powerful example. A few years ago, we had a guy go through the program. He's a Yale graduate, and he became very involved in food security in New Haven, was involved with the food security work in New Haven. And he knew that there was a conference that's run, I believe it's every other year, at Yale School for the Environment on food security. And most of the speakers that literally come from other parts of the world and are dealing with and working on issues in Latin America and in Africa and in the rural South, Appalachia. And he brought to the table bringing people from New Haven. And for the first time, he was able to get, I believe, a total of 7 presenters were people who are working on food security issues at multiple levels here in New Haven, not just the traditional agencies, but people that are working at the grassroots level. And that's the kind of mixing it up that we need, and the kind of mixing it up that grassroots people can do that's a little bit harder for the agencies.
wow. Yeah, so I believe Eleanor, what's her name? Eleanor Salumba.
Yeah,
In
Eleanor
their class.
Slumba,
Yeah, Ife
West
just
Haven.
texted me. She was in the 2021 cohort, and
Correct.
she did Arts West, and just got some ARPA money in West Haven, which is an ARPA grant, which is really nice. So she has built upon what she has incubated with the leadership program into a full-on arts commitment to West Haven. So you got to be proud
And
of
you
that.
You bring up two good points by bringing Eleanor up. One is the program it was originally conceived for New Haven, and as time went by, we realized that some of the people that are trying to do this good have either moved or they started in Hamden, East Haven, and West Haven. So funding that in that geographic area is what we're about now. And then I think the other important thing is how many different ways people go from this. Some people have created full-fledged 501c3 nonprofits that apply for local, city, state government, the community foundation for funding. Other people in another part of the spectrum just stay at that grassroots level and continue to work on what they're working on, at that level without incorporating, maybe using a fiduciary agent, but maybe not. Some people have gone the way of business. What their project, during the project, it all has to be done as a nonprofit. You can't pay yourself to do the work, but what can evolve out of it are such diverse things as, again, Collab, which is a nonprofit that works with people who want to start businesses with entrepreneurs. But for some people, it has also evolved into developing a service that is available for people to consume and pay them for. So this is all about supporting that grassroots creativity and raising it up. We are now this year going to be experimenting with making presentations that we plan to make open to the public so that people can come and see and hear with their own ears what people are doing and hopefully be inspired either to support them, to connect with them, or to think about their own dreams for their neighborhood or for their community to do that.
Mm-hmm. And after completing the training and planning stages of this program, participants can apply for a grant for about up to $3,000 to carry out their community-based projects, which is a nice capstone, I think.
Yep, no, absolutely, and that's the idea. We want to help you to begin to realize your dream. I won't speak for Aoife, but I know we gave her 3, and she leveraged that into multiple times that amount just in the first year. And I know now it's multiples of multiples. Culturally Lit is huge from where it started, but right from the get-go, recognizing this vacant spot in our community where there was no literature celebration that was grassroots and took into account the writings of Black and Brown people. What a great idea. And I believe she was inspired partly by being in Brooklyn, where there's a great literature festival. Some people think of original ideas, and some people they see something somewhere else, and they want to be the person that brings it to New Haven, East Haven, West Haven, or Hamden. Any of those ideas are welcome.
So the program is open to 12 people. Mm-hmm. From across, whatever. So if people are listening, you don't have to be fancy. You don't have to feel like you come knowing anything. You have to come with some imagination and an idea, and you all will walk people through a process to flesh out that idea, to bring it to fruition, and to execute it.
Yep. And you'll feel supported, and also feel the power of what comes about when you are not only being supported, but also are supporting others. Mm-hmm. We do what we do in community. I'm reminded, that way back in the day before we started the program, Kevin Ewing, who's one of the facilitators, he helped me to get a neighborhood association started here in Fairhaven, where I live, and we have over 550 members. We're raising money locally. We don't get money from the community foundation, and it's not because I live here. It's just that we've moved on from that and built a partnership with local businesses and beyond that allows us to do Quinnipiac River Fest that
Which is
has
huge.
yeah, which is a great event. We're now having regular walks, students from multiple universities, from high schools, professional groups come to our neighborhood and learn its history, learn about it. We are working with multiple banks, not just the ones that are on Grand Avenue, who want to support us. And all of that is rooted in the framework that we started, what is now known as the Chatham Square Neighborhood Association. And we have a reserve of money that we've raised ourselves through our own efforts that allow us to do things in our community and also to fund things in our community to go along with the Fairhaven Community Management Team and just fund. Last year, 120 elderly people received a Thanksgiving meal, and there was money from the management team, money from local businesses, nonprofits help, and the neighborhood association was right there with a contribution. And that money was raised through efforts of multiple people in our neighborhood. And this is now well over now 15 years that it has been in existence, and we've been doing this.
Oh, I love it. So over the last 14 years, Lee, you must have seen a lot of people come through with really great ideas. And are some of these folks still in contact with y'all? Like, can they come back and access the mentorship and the camaraderie of the folks who run this program?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, that is the other than changing the schedule of when the program happens, looking to serve as many people as possible and to be supportive of moms and dads who have kids in school so that the schedule is less conflicting. Other than that, the second element is we have through the process of evaluation given an opportunity for alum to self-identify as wanting, some alumni obviously have moved on from New Haven, some have moved to other areas, their life has changed, but a portion of the alum are going to be involved. Not only will they be able to come when we do the presentations, but they'll actually be involved in the actual capacity building. And I call it capacity building and not training because we're not trying to indoctrinate people in a certain way of doing things. What we want to do is help them to build their capacity to do what they do. One of the things I love about the combination of people that we have is we have, as we've mentioned, Aoife with her lived experience of having gone through the program. We have Kevin Ewing, who has a background in community organizing, and we have David Carter, who has a background as a life coach.
We have the same birthday.
You and David do?
Yeah, me and David Carter. I know him because we were both members of Church of the Redeemer, which
of course.
We used to sit right there in a Cold Spring in Whitney Avenue. So
yeah, of course.
we share the same birthday. So and he's a wonderful person. I mean, everybody's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Like Aoife is my bestie. Rev Kevin and I are working on a project together now, and he stood in as interim minister in some churches that I've attended. So so these are all fine people.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is that fine as they are and experienced as they are, what makes this program, I think, really great for community people is that there aren't these sort of high and lofty people that everyone looks at and says they're amazing. How I could not do what they do. First of all, yes, you can. Yes, you can do what they're doing. But more importantly, that's not where you start. You don't start where they are. They didn't start where they are today. And so that's why it's important to show and to act upon this chain where we recognize that every individual is a link in the chain. And some of us are further to one end of the chain, and some of us are further to the other side. And we need to look in both directions as links in the chain. We need to look to be inspired and to aspire to be like the ones that are ahead of us. But we also periodically need to look back at the people who are coming up behind us, people that we can support and that we can mentor. Our community is as strong as the weakest link in that chain. And every link in the chain has a responsibility not only to strengthen themselves, but to watch out for and to support the strength of every other link.
I love it. So August 1st is your informational session. It's
Correct.
at 5:30.
Yep.
People can register. They can go to the cfgnh.org.
And if they go to cfgnh.org and then put /NLP,
Okay.
/NLP, it'll bring them right to the page. We want people to register for this event because we want to know how much pizza to order. Plain and simple. So please don't just show up. Please, but you know, if last minute you find we're able to, we're going to have some latitude there. We're not going to order pizza exactly for the 50 people that show up, but we are going to plan this. That very evening, the application, which is very simple, it's more akin to filling out something like a job application than it is like a grant application, because what we're looking to learn is more about you and who you are and how you operate. That will be available that very same evening. We'll switch the registration to the event to the application. The application will be available until it's due August 16th. We're confident, and I know some people will fill it out August 15th or the morning before. It is literally that simple. But don't wait. If you know you want to do it, don't wait. Sign up early. Then we'll have a couple of or as needed group interviews. There are no individual interviews. You come in as a part of a group and conversations are had. The selection process is one that's internal. The people who run the program, along with myself and people who have graduated from the program, are the ones that decide who comes in. Another key thing I tell people is no now does not mean no forever.
That's right.
So if you don't get in this year, don't hesitate to apply again next year, and we'll get you in eventually. And then the program begins in September. And of course, there's a pause in, the time of the holidays at the end of December, pick up again. And then when we finish, then you're ready, and you will get support to fill out the very simple grant application. And then you're off to the races, as they say, to do your activity, your project. Also, folks should know that we know that we are working people. We have kids, we have a life, and so on and so forth. So once you apply and you get the grant, you have a year to fulfill on that intent to do that. But if something should happen in that year, you get a new job, you have to move. Who knows what can happen? Life happens. Then all you need to do is send me an email and say, I want to apply to delay. And then just with that simple email, you get an extension. I should say you apply for an extension and you get a second year. So you have literally up to 2 years to fulfill on that intention. At the end of the 2 years, then we figured that you're far enough away from the training that maybe if you're going to do it, you might need to go through and get a refresher or something like that. But we're also open to any ideas people have, any ideas for how we can improve the program. And improving the program means making it better for you, making it easier for you, because this is about the community.
Well, I love it. So if whoever's listening, attend the informational session. on August 1st, 2024. And it's in the Community Foundation building, right? In your headquarters over there in Audubon.
Correct. Right where Neighborhood Music School is, Creative Arts Workshop around the corner from the
Arts
Housing Authority.
Council. Yeah.
The Arts Council is, of course, how could I forget? The Arts Council,
Come on
the
now.
same, the same building as the Arts Council. There's an entrance to the garage right next door. Now, I'm going to answer a question that I think that is probably in many of your listeners' mind. I really am interested in this. I'm excited, but I have a commitment next Thursday. That's okay. I think you're better off for yourself if you come to the information session, because you'll get a sense of who else is interested, who could be the people in the class, in the cohort with you. You'll get a sense of what the program is like, but it is not a requirement. You can still apply even if you don't come next Thursday. You just have the advantage of knowing a little bit more what this is about. You have the advantage of knowing a little bit more about who else is interested. And you have the advantage of eating some pizza.
and
which is always a good thing.
New Haven has the best pizza. No matter what pizza you get, it's really great.
That's
pizza.
right. That's right.
Well, thank you, Lee Cruz, for coming on and sharing all this wonderful information. I'm excited about this, and I love that this city holds space for people to grow and develop ideas. For their community. They could you could get support for your community if you're trying to do something in your community. So this is a good opportunity. So thank you, Lee Cruz.
Thank you for having me. The Community Foundation is very proud and excited to have a program that we do a lot with nonprofits. We also do a lot with our donors, because they're the ones that make everything we do possible, both the big donors and the people who give through the Great Give. All of the donors are important, but this program kind of sits in the middle for those people who may not be able to give, or may not be able to give in a large amount, and they don't work at a social service agency. Although we don't discriminate, we have had people who go through the program who work at social service agencies. This is for that vast middle, the people who want to raise their hand and say, I want to make a difference in fill in the blank community. And this is an opportunity to do that. So thank you for having me to explain this.
All right. Well, you're welcome to come on anytime. If you got something else going on, come on through.
We always have stuff going on. Okay. Right. Well, you take care.
Good to see you. Nice. And enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thanks. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Harry. All right. Yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay. Bye. Okay.
Yeah, you can log out, Lee. You don't got to stay till the end.
Thanks. Bye.
You're welcome. See you later.